Now, from across the Tri-States, this is KHQA Sports.
When last the Helias Crusaders rolled into the Tri-States for a soccer match, they were treated to a nasty driving rain and the program's first ever loss at Hannibal. In full disclosures, the Crusaders had been hit hard by the injury bug that week and were back to full strength tonight for an even more daunting trip to Flynn Stadium. They would find Jason Ebbing and the Blue Devils tonight equal to the cause. We take you to the ball game tonight, where the Blue Devils would get a great effort from their keeper, who in fact would throw up the clean sheet. He didn't need a whole lot of support. He got plenty, though, in this game. Pick it up in the first half, 20 minutes deep. This is Tanner Melling coming free. He's going to try and take a shot right here on the rebound ball. It's not going to go, but the ball's going to come to Kenley Leondikers, who's wide open. The punch into the back of the net made it 1-0 at that point in favor of the Blue Devils. Second half, the Blue Devils looking for more. They would find it. Who else? Your resident goal scorer, Blake Herman. Wide and free on the wing, lets free with a full volley and knocks that home as well for yet another goal. He's having himself a tremendous season. The Blue Devils aren't done. 2 minutes left in the ball game. This time it's Kenley Leondikers finding Brett Stiles, who will punch one back to the edge of the net. The Blue Devils win tonight by the final count of 3-0 to take out Jeff City Helias. Meanwhile, in volleyball tonight, it would be West Prairie visiting QD, a battle of legendary coaches, Rich Meyer and Terry Paul. Early advantage in game number 2 to Riley Hummer, QD, and to Rich Myers in this one as his team jumped out 1-0. The outstanding freshman throwing down the kill. Here come the Cyclones firing back. Paige Webster, first of all, with the side out for her team. Then it would be Kaylin Peterson making her presence felt right here as well. West Central fighting. QD with just too much in this one. We'll set you up with a little Cassidy Foley right here. She had a monster night tonight. 13 kills and 9 digs, including the knockdown right here when she comes free all by herself. Kristen Gengenbacher also very, very good. The setter for QD tonight with 30 assists, and this kill coming up right here as the Lady Raiders win in straight games tonight over West Prairie. 25-22, 25-20 was your final. Elsewhere on the volleyball scoreboard on this evening, we've got Central Lee winning in straight games over Fairfield Maharishi. Final count in that one was 25-7, 25-7, 25-6 for the Lady Hawks. Elsewhere on the scoreboard, Keokuk, no match tonight for West Hancock, who wins in straight games over the Chiefs. We've also got Hannibal continuing to be undefeated in conference play, knocking off Fulton in straight games. It was Brown County too much tonight for Griggsville Perry, winning in straight games there at the Central Tournament tonight. Scores first. We've got Western beating Payson in straight games. We've also got Payson Seymour bouncing back and losing to Unity as well in 3 games. Tough night for the Lady Indians. Also, Southeastern tonight, as you see right there, beats Rushville Industry, but loses an absolute monster match tonight to the host school, Camp Point Central. Look at those scores, 36-34, 27-25, and 15-12. Doesn't go much longer than that in high school volleyball. Meanwhile, we've got highlights from the Central Tournament from the early games. Liberty and Central going at it, and it will start with this young lady, Macy Music, throwing down hard for Central. Central setting an early tone in game number 1. Kiana Flessner also getting into the act. Liberty, though, would rally back in this one. It will be Shelby Wellman who initially sets the tone for her team, coming up at the net right here. As you will see right here, the Liberty Eagles kind of getting their attack working just a bit. Took a little bit while for them to get on track, but once they did, they were really good at it as Liberty starts firing on all cylinders in this one. And when they start firing, it's not going to end anytime soon. Your next series, it will be Miranda Nyson, who was going to be really big on this night, stepping out not once but twice with successive kills in this match to help get Liberty rolling in game number 1. Liberty would take that one, and Liberty would just keep coming in this match. They're going to get both matches tonight and end up getting the victory behind Miranda Nyson and behind Katie Klaus, who you'll see in just a second. She had herself a really big night with 13 kills for the Lady Eagles. Right here, though, Abigail Jansen trying to get a measure back right there with a nice serve for Central, but Katie Klaus and Liberty too strong in both games tonight. They sweep the victory do the Lady Eagles. And we've got more for you. We've got softball to pass along tonight. Monroe City, a winner over Louisiana, 10-0 on the softball docket. Also for you tonight, more highlights and more scores. Palmyra, a nice win on the road over Mark Twain, who's been red hot of late. 3-0 was your final there. And softball as well. We've got Knox County beating Clark County rather emphatically 7-1 tonight. Lauren Dale 3 for 3 at the plate for the Lady Eagles. Van Far loses a pair today to Ellsbury 7-0 and to Silex 7-1 were your finals there. Let's talk some football. You know the big matchups coming up on Friday night between Concord Triopia and Camp Point Central Southeastern. Well, those two teams will both be top 5 teams in the state in their respective classes when that game takes place. Both teams getting a bump in today's power poll. Triopia jumping up 2 spots, or actually 1 spot, to the 2 spot in Class 1A, while Central Southeastern climbs to the 5 spot in Class 2A. Meanwhile, a little respect for Illini West coming off that tremendous win over Rockridge. The Chargers debut 7th in Class 2A this week. Macomb also jumping all the way up to 4th in Class 4A. And we've got Jacksonville staying in the rankings this week despite a loss. They are tied in a 3-way tie for 9th in Class 5A. Some college scores: Culver Stockton today a winner in soccer, as was HLG. Western Illinois the only hard luck loser on the men's side today, 1-0 to Northern Kentucky. In volleyball, it was Culver Stockton sweeping one past Central Methodist. And in the pros tonight, Major League Baseball, the Cardinals continue to push the margin past the Dodgers in the wild card chase. And bad news for the White Sox. They lose today. The Tigers win, which means the White Sox and the Tigers are now in a dead heat as we speak. Coming up tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we begin our previews of the big showdown between Concord Triopia and Central Southeastern, your game of the week.
All right.